I finally made it to the trappers' camp today. I expected some rough setup, maybe a few shacks or makeshift fortifications, but what I found was little more than a cluster of weathered tents and open communal areas probably used for eating, mixing chems, or whatever else raiders did. It felt eerily quiet, no voices, no movement. The whole place was deserted. I entered the camp from the backside, allowing me to avoid the traps that were set up near the entrance. Kind of a blind spot, but then again we're talking about raiders. Not the brightest bulbs in the shed. I started to pick through the camp to find out where the trappers had ended up. First thing I found was a holotape.
Thorpe, we got a bit of situation here I want to report. I'm gonna send this here holotape with a runner to you as soon as I can. Me and the other trappers set up this camp here near Devil's Backbone just like we all agreed on. It's been working out for us. Plenty of game to catch, plenty of unlucky saps wandering in from the east still. But, you know how we said we stay out of Huntersville and don't drink the water near there? We thought it was just some sort of quarantine zone full of sick people, so we made sure not to poke at it. We started hearing some noises coming from the town a bit back, so I done reckon we'd better send someone to check it out. Well, he come back talking about some big old green uns stalking around, trying to rip up the fence around town and busting up stuff real good. First I heard, so I get him to show me, and I don't believe my eyes. These big green fellas were in there, looked like, ransacking the town. Next thing you know, them Brotherhood of Steel folks are marching on it and clashing with the other guys, and they ain't doing too well against them. As soon as it looked like the armored goons were losing the fight, we hauled ass back here, and that's where we're at. Fighting's still going on, and we'll keep an eye on the situation, but if things go belly up... Oh, shit! It's those green bastards, and they got guns!
After listening to the holotape, I kept digging around what was left of the camp, careful not to set off any of the traps still armed and waiting. That's when I found a crumpled note stuck to a fence. It looked like it had been written in a hurry, the handwriting shaky and smudged, but the message was clear enough. The trappers had abandoned not just their camp, but the rest of the raider gangs up at the top of the world. The reason? Their leader, a man named Walter, had been taken by the super mutants. That piece hit me harder than I expected. Taken. Not killed. Not eaten. Taken. I sat with that thought for a minute, trying to make sense of it. All of the super mutants I had fought just charged in and tried to kill me. What would they want with a gang leader? What could Walter possibly offer them? Whatever it is, it can't be good. Still, if I wanted that tape Rose is so eager for, I needed to find him. Walter might be the only one who still knows where it is. Or maybe he still has it. Either way, I had no choice. I was off to Huntersville. I reached the town and immediately knew the holotape was true. Scattered across the outskirts was a grim sight, graves and remnants of Brotherhood of Steel. Wooden pegs marked where bodies were buried, and among the rocks lay a full suit of power armor, like the soldier inside had died and fallen over. The trappers hadn't exaggerated. The Brotherhood fought here, and lost. It's unsettling to see them brought down like this. They had training, tech, and numbers, and still the super mutants overwhelmed them. I knew my best plan of action was to move in quietly. As I moved further into town, I came across a set of makeshift gates. Tall, jagged barriers built from scrap metal, rusted beams, and broken fencing. It was hard to tell who built them. Maybe the super mutants. Or maybe they were already here, built by whoever lived in Huntersville before the bombs. And at the top of the fence, gracing the top like grim decorations, were hanging bags of meat and bones. They swayed in the breeze, leaking dark stains onto the cracked pavement below. That's when it hit me. The super mutants don't just kill people, they eat them. Whatever shred of humanity they once had is long gone. All that's left is hunger, rage, and muscle. I'd heard whispers before, but seeing it for myself made my stomach turn. There's no negotiating with something like this, no reasoning. Only one option: end them before they end someone else. The sight of those meat bags rattled me, but after a deep breath and a reminder of why I was here, I pushed on. Fear's a constant out here, but I've learned how to work through it. I stuck to my strategy: move slow, move steady, and move smart. I ran from cover to cover, using whatever I could find to shield myself. Ruined cars, crumbling walls, old storefronts, they all became part of the plan. I'd take down one or two super mutants, then shift positions before they could pin me down. It kept them disoriented and gave me the upper hand. And I needed every bit of it. The super mutants here hit like a freight train. One of them even carried a missile launcher. I ducked behind a half-destroyed wall just as the first missile was fired and slammed into the wall in front of me. I managed to stay on my toes and take him down with a few shots of my rifle. After what felt like hours of fighting and carefully moving through the ruins, the town finally fell quiet. The last of the super mutants in the area were either dead or had scattered. I took the opportunity to move cautiously toward the center of town, stepping over rubble and charred wreckage, my rifle still ready just in case. And that's where I found him, Walter, his body laying on its back. Something strange sat inside his stomach and a holotape sticking out of his pocket. I approached with caution and grabbed the tape as quickly as possible, only to hear the ticking of a bomb whirring. I ran to avoid the inevitable.
I see some commotion over in Huntersville. Gotta be you, huh? Yeah, I kind of figured the mutant brutes got to Walter and the trappers. Real shame. Then again, maybe it wasn't such a bright move, sticking around when they found out the town was run amok with those big dumb galoots. Why don't you go figure out what happened to the Diehards next? Probably just plain starved after Margie vanished. Bunch of useless old softies. Margie had her own room at the Sunny Top ski lanes. It's her last known location. See if she left anything behind.
Next up was learning about Margie and the Diehards. Compared to the other gangs I've tangled with so far, they seemed, dare I say, reasonable. According to what Rose told me, the Diehards weren't about mindless violence or cruelty. They survived by avoiding fights, not starting them. They believed in living to see another day, not dying over power plays or petty territory disputes. Still, this is the wasteland, and if I've learned anything out here, it's that hope has a way of turning sour real fast. The first light of dawn was over horizon as I arrived. From afar, it looked like nothing more than a weathered old ski lodge, and for a moment, I let myself believe it might reflect the more hopeful stories I'd heard about Margie's crew. But as I got closer, that hope faded. The lodge had all the signs of a raider camp: rusted spikes jutting from the ground, bloodied tarps draped over makeshift walls, and pikes displaying decaying heads scattered around. Just another group of murdering raiders. Makes me sick. Worse still, the place wasn't empty. Giant ticks scuttled across the floorboards and walls like they owned the place, their legs clicking with every movement. And as if that weren't bad enough, I spotted super mutants patrolling the perimeter. Looked like they'd claimed this place for themselves. The layout of the lodge was a tangled mess, buildings and wings connected by walkways with locked doors and collapsed passages, turning the place into a maze. It took time to navigate, especially while staying low and quiet. Every turn held the risk of another mutant or oversized tick waiting to lunge. As I picked my way through, fighting off what I had to and sneaking past the rest, I started finding bodies. Scattered across the floors, slumped in corners, some half buried under debris, these weren't tourists or settlers. These were raiders, the Diehards. So much for their ideals. Good riddance. There was one sight inside the lodge that made me stop cold. Amid the blood, the wreckage, and the bodies, I saw someone impaled on a stake. Another sick monument left behind. But this one wasn't just another victim. It was a vault dweller. My heart dropped. For a long moment, I couldn't bring myself to look at the number on the back of their jumpsuit. I was terrified it would be someone I knew, or worse, my brother Garrett. When I finally looked, it wasn't Vault 76, it was Vault 94. Relief came first, but then realization. There was another vault, another community. If Vault 94 existed, maybe it still does. Maybe I could find a home there once I was done. I pushed those thoughts aside and continued through the lodge. After a few more tough fights, I made it to room 3, Margie's room. Unlike the others, her door was wide open. No chains, no barricades. She was gone. Inside, I found a holotape on the table and a terminal in the corner.
This is Margie McClintock of the Diehards. What a joke. We deluded ourselves into thinking our victims would fear a name like that. But now, everyone out there is as desperate as we are. And every confrontation could mean life or death. People take their chances. They fight back. So we have to kill. We have to murder innocent people. Well, not me. I don't care what this world has come to. It's not taking me down with it. The whole idea of the Raiders is sick. It's inhuman. I'm destroying that stupid key fragment. Those bastards don't deserve their treasures. Unless they return to their senses and quit this whole murderous power game they're playing. If that ever happens, Vincent knows what to do. Maybe he'll be more successful than I was. As for me, I'm leaving. I'll find some chems and I'll go out that way. Peaceful. Without pain. I'm done. I'll see you soon, Harlan, my love. Been too long.
For a moment, I thought it was all over. Margie's holotape made it clear. She'd destroyed her copy of the key fragment. My heart sank. After everything I'd been through, to come this far and lose the trail here, it was almost too much. Then I remembered something Freddie Lang had mentioned in her own recordings. Margie had asked the other gang leaders to make backups of their tapes. Maybe she had already done the same before she destroyed hers. I started combing through the rest of the lodge, searching for anything that could point me in the right direction. Eventually, I came across another terminal tucked away. It belonged to someone named Vincent, Margie's supposed successor. The terminal had a series of messages between Vincent and someone named Meg. One thread stood out, buried deep. It was the breakthrough I needed. There was a backup. According to Vincent's message, the Diehards had stored a copy of the key fragment tape at a place called the Palace of the Winding Path. That's my next stop. It's late in the morning now, and my body's starting to feel the weight of the past couple days. Between fighting through Blackwater Mine, Huntersville, and now this lodge, I need rest. I'm staying in Margie's room today. It's the only space in this whole place that doesn't feel cursed. The chains on the door should hold, or at least rattle enough to wake me if someone or something tries to get in. Let's just hope the Palace of the Winding Path is as peaceful as the name sounds.